Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk from Jacket Clubs Painting. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yo, what's up?
It is, I don't know, it's Xenos week. We got what? October, #October, Xenos.
Still October.
Is this the year of the Xenos? Or was that last year? I forget. Which year was the year of Xenos?
I'm going to talk about something
nobody knows.
Like if you watch this on After Hours, you can see our faces. Rob just like smiles frozen at the camera for like 20 straight seconds as we're getting a wild sound sampling for later editing. So I just want you guys to know, if you listen to this on your drive to work and it comes right into Robbie B's intro, like, hey, it's Robbie B. I can't remember his intro. I've only heard it a few times. But there's like this 20-second period of time that happened before that you didn't hear, which was just him smiling like a crazy person at the camera.
Yeah, I can't even look at y'all because I'll break and start laughing. Especially because sometimes Kenny will try to get us to break by doing some dumb shit in his webcam.
I do some Brady Bunch shit.
I'm the one with the stupid face, supposedly.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Don't look down, apparently it ages you.
Oh yeah, I gotta go back and look at that. Oh wait, if I look down right now, and then I can look at Twitch because it'll be like 15-second delay.
He's okay. Now he's gonna stay. Now he's gonna do something even creepier, guys.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna look at myself, looking at myself.
But yeah, October's still here. People, I think, since the last time we've talked and now have all gotten their Creature Caster orcs in the mail.
That model is really sweet.
Yeah. Since we last talked, mine is done. Wyatt's almost finished with his Artel Iron Boss. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Iron Boss.
Yar.
And then he's got like a Grot Gunner on top of his power armor. And
you put that one on there?
It's really funny because this Grot is like the most shredded Grot. Like this dude sits around all day and
does
just
like 1,000 Pilates and yoga.
Yeah, this dude is like the Conor McGregor of Grots. And I actually think he has a little bit more character to him than the Iron Boss, because like his face and the muscles and all that. He's hilarious. I love it.
Dude, Grots are like orc cats. Like they run shit. They know what's up. Like they're always the coolest poses. They're like scratching their butt. They're like Nurglings. They're like always just doing something off to the side that's just like ridiculous. Like mooning the camera. Like who does that?
Yeah, Grots are crazy. I mean, like if Games Workshop made all Grots like this little dude, I would play like an all Grot army all day.
Which is also really good right now.
What, an all Grot army?
Yeah, with 12 smasher guns.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, how many dollars is that? $1 million?
I don't know, $0.
I'm about to say, it doesn't sound like a lot of money to the people I know have been playing it.
I mean, it's all right. It's like I can make 12 smasher guns out of like just crap laying around the house right now. That's what most
nobody ever questions
do.
orc shit, man. I bet you I can
go buy a smasher gun off the shelf. Are you crazy? That's not working.
Here we go. I will buy one smasher gun off the shelf. Go with me on this. I will get it and make a large clay mold out of it. Right? Then I will open that mold up. And then I will basically just take a box full of literal sprue bits, random Space Marine helmets, all the crap, all the little shavings at the bottom of my box when I'm done making a model, and just dump them in the mold. Right? And just like basically backfill the mold with like fucking plastic glue and shut it. Wait like 3 hours, pull it out. That's my smasher gun. They just do like 12 of those.
I think you might want to check with the TO on that. That's illegal.
Guys, I said you can do it, so just tell them that Kenny said that you can do it.
Not actual things to say to a TO.
I'm not saying that they're gonna like authorize you. I'm just saying that they're gonna think you're special.
They're gonna think you're something.
My mom says I'm special.
What's the
That's a
new
lie.
phrase?
She never said that.
Like they'll think you're a TikTok.
They'll think I'm a TikTok. God, I'm getting caught up. Do you guys know what Vesco is too?
What's Vesco?
I've never heard of this.
Just look it up. I'm too deep now, guys. I'm sorry. Not even worth talking about. TikTok has become a part of my life, and so many trends have now become a part of my life.
I can't even with you, man. You're too underground.
Too cool for school.
Yeah.
Cool. I wish somebody in school said that to me.
Kenny, what are the kids into these days? Oh, they're into this, and that. Like, oh man.
Scrunchies, they're big with the kids right now.
Slinkies, Skippets, sock and boppers,
Bop it.
moon shoes.
Oh my God. What was the skip it? Skip it. Wasn't like, do you remember that commercial?
Yeah.
Dog. I always wanted one of those. Then I went to my friend's house one time who had one, like skipped on it for like 2 seconds, bashed my shin with it and tripped. I was like, this is
Yeah, so I was like, it doesn't seem like it's like a big like plastic ball at the end of
You're
this.
like just
like,
challenging
It
yourself
hurt.
to
You
eat.
would break shit with that.
Yeah.
You played hard in the 90s.
Yeah.
whatever happened to Super Soakers though? Because like remember those?
Still
They were,
make
like-
them.
I got
These are
so
everywhere.
high to Super Soakers, man. I love them motherfuckers, filling them bitches with bleach, brake fluid, wherever I can.
Oh my god, you
That got
savage!
dark.
I was from
Pretty
Florida. Don't forget that.
Yep, that's true.
We definitely were terrible. And we didn't spray each other with them. We just sprayed cars on the highway with them.
And that's what happened to Super Soakers. Kenny ruined
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, there's something to that. Florida ruins a lot of things. Oh my God, someone in the chat. Between the bolter and me, Crossfire.
Crossfire.
Fuck yeah. I never had it. I always saw the commercial. It was the sickest shit ever, and I always wanted one, but they didn't sell them at Walmart.
Oh,
Yeah, they did.
Not
It was
Florida.
like a Milton Bradley game.
Not in Florida. Come on, man.
I mean, I don't know.
There was like an alligator
I just-
like in our fucking Walmart.
So hungry hippos.
I had that.
No, I mean that's what they would sell there because it was Florida.
I had that. That's why I had it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It sucked. We also had Slip and Slide, the worst game on earth.
Slip and wreck
Slip
your
and
anus.
rip your anus.
slip
Slip and
insides were
straight rip your
dangerous.
tank from fucking B to A to C.
Just getting rubber burns on your knees and elbows.
God, my dad laid that shit out in our front yard, sprayed it down. I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. As soon as I hit it, it was already like 1,000 degrees from the fucking sun.
Yep. The first time I ever used a slip and slide, a rock poked through and skinned like the flesh off the palm of my hand.
Yeah.
Never used the slip and slide again ever.
Like I remember doing like a slip and slide in the mountains of like North Carolina down a fucking mountain that was just literally mud that they just poured water down for like 2 days. To like it was a mudslide and going that was safer and less harmful to the children at this fucking summer camp that I was at than when they rolled out the slip and slide. Way more injuries.
Yep.
Fuck a slip.
Just
and
rub
slide.
dirt in it. You'll be fine. Bounce back. Bounce back.
I mean, I'm here today. Nothing wrong with me.
No.
Uh,
I mean, besides eating alone in the dark.
Yep. Okay, so it is October. We got more October content. I do have an update for all my people who visit my web store, which is hereticswag.com. I've recently been in a battle with one of my print-on-demand fulfillment agencies that I use on our brand new parody design, the Wu-Tang Clan Bring the Ruckus, which is our limited time shirt that is only available in October. Well, apparently Printful kind of spineless. They let me sell a few shirts. Then they decided that they didn't want to get on with it. They thought it was copyright infringement, even though it's literally, I explained to them the whole history of it. It's a literal definition of a parody. Like Wu-Tang Clan, orcs yell Wah. These are space orcs that even have Wu-Tang Clan names. And I think just today I saw a Wu-Tang Clan Doctor Who shirt on the internet and a fucking Wakanda shirt. I was like, parodies are fine. Wu-Tang's down with it. Get over yourself. They're like, nah, we're not selling for you. So they're back on there. Shout out to Custom Cat. They're the real deal. They got the spines. And unfortunately, they're going to be slightly more expensive than what you saw them on there yesterday at if you were thinking about getting one, because I don't get the best rates from Custom Cat. We just get the best service.
And spines.
I mean, they do say when you upload your artwork that, like, you take full responsibility legally, 100%. We don't give a fuck. And so I'm like, yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Well, your designs look pretty fresh, dude. I keep getting the emails about them. I'm like, oh, dang. That looks
man.
dope.
I appreciate you. But That's happened. So there's one person that has yet to get back to me an email. If you recently bought a hoodie from me with the Watain Clan logo on it, check your emails, please. Spoiler alert, it's not coming to your house. We have to have a little talk.
What did you unveil that new design yet to the public?
Not ready. I'm waiting for the release of a certain codex.
Oh, I got you.
To coincide with it.
Yes, indeed. Good. Very good. Shall be good. I think next week's gonna be what is it? It might be no, next week's probably gonna be Bone Reapers.
Oh my God, the Bone Reapers looking strong.
Yeah, they said Bone Reapers were October, I believe.
The models are incredible.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right, let's put a pin in that real quick.
Sure.
Because that sounds dangerously close to nerd shit content.
I mean, it's true. It's close to Tabletop Market Watch.
So let's backpedal to Wyatt, who has an Spooktober. Would you rather?
Yeah, Spooktober. Suitably spooky. Would you rather? All right, boys. Would you rather be a crew member on the Event Horizon or be visited by the Cenobites?
Oh, God.
Wait, who's the Cenobites again?
Hellraiser. The Hellraiser people.
Oh, yeah.
We have such sights to show you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, questions.
Wow.
I have many. First off, why are the Cenobites visiting me? Do I have the puzzle box? Did I open it?
Yeah, you opened the puzzle box.
I opened the puzzle box. Okay.
Yeah.
Question about Event Horizon. Crew. When you say crew member, am I like a mechanic, so I'm stationed at the core, or am I like bridge crew?
It doesn't matter if you remember at all that movie. Anybody on that ship?
No, they're all dead.
Went through the event.
But it seems like different people had different unique experiences based on where they were. So like, the party was on the bridge. Is what I'm saying.
It's random.
That's what the party.
Okay, it's all random. You're a red shirt for all intents and purposes.
Rob, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, so I opened the puzzle box. I'm going with Cenobites.
You just jump from A to B or from like A to Z.
There's play there.
Why?
Like, it's gonna suck. It never doesn't. They're like the definition of a fucking monkey paw. Like every single one of them is literally evidence of that. But I feel like I can get behind that. Like I'd bring something to the table that they would ultimately respect.
Like butt stuff?
When he says I have such sights to show you, I'm sure he couldn't even fathom butt stuff. That's definitely so. He would have been like, "What? I never thought of that." No, Rob, not butt stuff.
I mean, it's different. I guess I go with Event Horizon just because you get to be in space at least, I guess.
Of course. I get to be in outer space.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like flying, but you don't really fall. So, gravity.
It's like I get to be a spaceman.
Yeah.
You get to also be for space.
And then it doesn't end up so well, you know.
Well, I get that part, but you know.
Neither of these are going to ultimately end well.
Just Rob's like #worth. Got to go to space.
Yeah, I got to go to space. I saw Space Camp.
I mean, like realistically, I'm going to get tortured to death too. Like I have this really small chance of like rising in the ranks of Cenobites, right? But ultimately, I'm going to get tortured to death. That's the high. That's like 99% chance. I get tortured to death. Rob gets tortured to death. Here's the difference. He got to see space. He got to be an astronaut. He got to take place in a space orgy until it turned really horrible. But it took 5-6 seconds.
Real weird turn.
Mm-hmm.
I can see your point. I'm down to roll the dice to see if I can become Overlord of Hell.
I mean, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Fact.
It's true. Yep.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah. I mean, we have good reasons for each.
Yeah, Russ says I can enjoy the space orgy while it lasts.
Yeah, there you go.
For all, it's like, you know.
Also, apparently, you get to learn Latin at some point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who Who can't get down with the darkness without Latin? Everybody knows that.
Good one. Good one. Thank you, Wyatt.
Yeah, it was definitely very, very spooky, very spook fest.
You're welcome.
Let me grab some of my notes here. So what do we got? Oh, so officially the Bandai action figure has sold out. It ended up being what, $100?
Yeah,
which I think was a good middle road price. I was kind of worried once they started really hyping it that it was going to be more than $100, and then when it was like $100, I was like, okay, all right.
I mean,
I can see it.
That was well within predictions. Like 100 to 120 or so is what we all kind of expected based on
they
industry
actually
standards.
Surprised us a bit. We thought, I mean, the fact that it stayed relatively close to the yen, was it the yen that showed it to be?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
the fact that they stayed within that range, we did not think that was going to be the case.
But there was some people. Oh, I mean, there's always people that complain, but some folks were like, I'm in the Gunpla, and the same thing, which should be $50, FGW, whatever, I mean,
like not good. Like, I think that was the weirdest part, was that they made multiple press releases that said this is a fully assembled and painted action figure, and there was still people leading up to like the day of release being like, oh, this is a Gunpla, I'm like so excited to build this. Or like, why is these Gunpla so cheap, but this thing is so expensive? It's like, because it's not the same thing.
And also, the fact that they're pre-selling them, and they are boutique quality, they do look a cut above a lot of their other figures. The limited release, and the fact that they're being made to order, like, it is a sculpture that is being, each part is being, molded and popped out of an injection mold and assembled by probably a human and
painted by a person to a standard.
$100? That is bargain basement, son.
Yeah. And I think it's just managing expectations. You say action figure, that puts a different picture and a different price in some people's minds, so.
True.
Yeah, it's that word has a lot of different connotations to a lot of different people. And for many people in our community, there may or may not be a lot of crossover with the collectible side of action figure stuff, where people are used to getting something from Sideshow that's like $300 or more, right? So they might be used to that, where others like have no idea about any of the information around this. And $100 probably seems like a lot when they're used to going to like Toys R Us, rest in peace, and buying like a G.I. Joe for $5.
Right. No, I agree, but and I think G-Dub knows enough about their target market to price the things. I mean, they basically said it in their financials, like, we basically charge what we think we can get. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that's basically what they said.
And that is never going to be something I hold against them. Those aren't the things GW I'm mad about.
But
fuck them, they'll pay.
Yeah. We've all said every single one of us have said that about something.
That's true. Like, you see something you believe in, you're like, the classic Fry meme, shut up and take my money, because it means it to you. Like, but they sold out in 4 days. Like, no, it's not a day one sellout, but it's a sellout in 4 days, which is way more than $1 million
in sales in 4 days.
The month that they said.
That's solid. Very solid.
So I think it's good. I think it's a good precedent. So we saw that came out. We saw the new previews for the Sisters, a battle box that's looking pretty fresh. It's got some models in there that we didn't know about. The Arcoflagellants, there's a squad of 3. Now we know the exact breakdown of contents, which I was about to pull up here because I thought I memorized it. So it's 10 Sisters, 4 the Repentia, Mistress of Repentia, the Canoness from the preview Canoness. Now, we don't know if that's going to be sold separately at some point, or if that's only going to be was only available at Nova and it's only going to be available in this box. The Codex, also the data cards are coming in it too, which is kind of interesting to see. I'm pulling this up right now so I can get the full breakdown. The Penitent engine, and Kenny had a lot to say about the Penitent engine design. you know, that thing looks fresh, and it's got a bunch of different weapon options.
The sisters are sick. That box, like I said this in the webcast, and I'll just say it briefly here. I don't get that excited about like the concept of like putting a model on a shelf and just looking at it every day and being like, damn, that's sick. I've been playing this thing, doing this hobby shit for so long that I'm just kind of desensitized to that. That shit doesn't matter. Like I want to touch and play and hold things and move them around. That's where I'm at 100%. Nothing really grabs my fancy anymore like that, you know? But they did. That image, like of all of them laid out, just a tidy little 2x2, just chilling. Man, brought some memories back, man. Some third ed, just love, you know? And the old Pewter sisters were the hotness back in the day. You know, they were sick. And this is like just that next level. And so you get a combination of the feels, the nostalgia, and just that big dick fucking plastic injection molding technology that GW slings around. It's just the best in the world. I was like, damn, I would like to have this on a shelf that I just looked at. It was that time.
Yeah, I think the Penitent Ninja is very. I'm personally hype about the Seraphim, the Jump Pack sisters. I think they look. They're very dynamic poses. Whereas if you remember the old Pewter ones, they were basically their guns up and down, like they were hiding behind a pillar, like in the Matrix or something. Like they're just up and down, and they were just like
ever.
Yeah, like every gunfight. These are like straight, like drawing beads on people, like jumping in the air. Their hair is like kind of twisted, like whichever way their like dynamic pose is like looking. I really think they did a great job on the Seraphim personally. But you know, everybody's gonna have their favorites, of course, and there's still more we haven't seen. Like we know there's a Rhino, we know there's an Exorcist, we assume there's a what is it? The other one with the Inferno cannon. So still more stuff to come,
Emulator,
of course. Oh yeah, Emulator and the heavy weapon ladies. So no idea on price.
Squad, is that what that's called?
Might be. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
I can't believe I even remember. I can't. If I'm even remotely accurate, I'm shocked.
50-50. We're getting close. They also previewed the blood of the Phoenix box, and we kind of know everything that's coming in there. And strangely enough, I mean, it is $230, and we'll talk about that as we get into the price. But you know, a lot of people have been talking about like, I don't get why it's that price. We did a big price breakdown on Spiky Bits, looking at all the different prices, kind of comparing the Finecast price to the normal price. And it ends up, you know, just at pricing estimates based on the stuff we know and the stuff we don't know. It only looks like you're going to get about $135, I think it was, over in savings over the retail price, which, you know, you're spending $230. You're getting roughly $365. It's just not as good as deals of the past. And GW has been fluctuating with that ever since Speed Freaks. Ever since they pulled Burning of Prospero and Betrayal of Calth off the shelf, they came out with Speed Freak, which sucked for box breaking and for actual costs. If it was in a box, I don't even think that there was very little.
It was one for one. It was 1 for 1. It was no savings. It was just his game. So that was ludicrous because every game before then, but it almost kind of seemed like GW did it on purpose. Like they pulled the two biggest values off the shelf, and then they put out a not value. It was not received well. And then they put on a couple of dope values since, and then now they've thrown this. And I think the price point, but they could be testing the market. If they think we'll pay and the savings are still there, because it is triple digit savings still.
Yeah, I mean, but it's still less than those other boxes for.
But I'd rather get triple digit savings for $150 box that you get anywhere for $100. You know,
it just seems like, and I put this in the post. You know, it seems like they're putting a premium on being able to get these models ahead of time and not being able to buy them separate yet. Like, if you want these Banshees, if you want Janzar, if you want Drazar, if you want the Incubi, you got to get this box. Now, who knows, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 months, when they'll come out with them separately. We don't know. So it's
it'll be out separately on eBay like day after release.
Well, sure. Yeah. But, that actually, if you think about it, actually kind of hurts the local game store, because the local game store wants.
There's no way eBay box breakers hurt local game stores.
Because they want to get that sale and stay in business. Instead, they're like, no, we got it, the $230 box, and then it's actually against GW's policies for that
Which
local
is why I
store.
said what I said. It seems like they're doing it on purpose. Box breaking has been something GW has been very clearly against for about 7 years now. Like just straight up, no.
Which is so dumb because they got their money.
And so I think that some of that mentality has bled into some of their releases and some of these concepts. Like, sure, they put a premium that's not to justify it, but I think the motivation is different. I think that if you go back to the Speed Freak and what happened right before that, I don't
think people would buy them. I think they'd have to.
GW is luxury goods, and the way they give us discounts is the smart way that a luxury good provider should, which is not giving you something for a discount, but giving you added value. So as long as they stay in this is extra value, like this is a $230 box, it's not a discount. We give you value.
Right.
So like I think that's the only discount you could ever expect from GW, and they will manipulate that and dial that into the perfect number. And so, we got incredible deals from Mask. Remember that? Death Mask?
Mm-hmm.
Overkill, Betrayal, Burning, like insanity. $400 for $150. Like it was.
Even the ETB, the starter boxes like Dark Imperium and Shadow Spear are good.
I mean, so I think that they're going to dial it in a little bit more, and they're going to find this perfect number that gives them exactly the same number of units moved, but the highest profit margins. I think you're just seeing that right now.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, even the start collecting boxes are now $100 for the two newest ones for Sigmar. So, and something that started out at 75, then crept up to 85, and then
I mean, they also they're like a company that sells a product that is hype beyond belief based on a narrative they also created as a manufacturer. So, like, there is a degree of fanboy fanaticism attached to everything that they get to have. Sure. That it's kind of unique to not every business has that, right. Has that exact, like, just that brand zealotry that GW has created. So they are unique, and I do respect them. And these are the types of things I don't get mad about. I just get disappointed because I want that deal.
I think a lot of people want that deal or split it with their friends. So that's the Blood of the Phoenix starter box, $230. Also the Phoenix Rising expansion book 1 of the Phoenix of the Psychic Awakening saga, $40 US. New White Dwarf's coming out, which we didn't touch on, but that's going to have new Sisters of Silence rules in them, along with some stuff for Age of Sigmar. Slaanesh is getting a couple of battalions. Like, Slaanesh probably doesn't need more rules for match play in AOS, but we'll get them anyways.
I heard they're OP.
They're a little OP.
Iron Hands AOS.
They have not been reined in very much. A little bit on the point side, but not much else. So that's all coming out, and then there's a collector's version of the Psychic Awakening book for $80 as well. So that is all happening next week. Of course, we'll be on pre-order this Saturday, the 12th, I think it is. May not be the actual day, but very soon. Very, very soon. And don't forget, if you are interested in playing in the next Long War Doubles tournament at Warzone Atlanta in about a month's time in November on Veterans Day weekend, get your tickets today because we will be there.
Sure, right, you just go to the interwebs, open a browser, and type in Warzone Atlanta 2019 in the Google's browser.
It's warzoneatlanta.com. Yep. /store.
Yep. We got plenty of spots open for the Long War Doubles. So sign on up. You'll see Rob there, and there's actually a chance if we sell 14 more tickets, you'll see me.
So we're pre-selling Kenny. We're pre-selling Kenny for delivery in 30 days in Atlanta, Georgia. Yep. By now.
That's a fact. That's real life.
One of one.
I mean, it's real life, right? Can't afford to go if we don't sell 14 more tickets.
It's true.
That's literally the facts.
About that part. Yeah.
I'm not going to hide it from you guys. That is the situation. Those 14 tickets in profit equal what it cost to put me on a plane and get my ass out there. So that's the situation. We need 14. Also, SoCal Open this month and Battlestar First Salvation this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So some big stuff
different
happening.
Sides of countries.
Different sides, coast to coast. which is really telling because as we segue into, as the podcast goes on, it's a more competitive talk. New Marines are going to be talked about today in this show.
Yeah.
And we got Battle for Our Salvation, which has some hardcore East Coast dick stomping going on. It's going to be really interesting to see the stats of New Marines coming back from that. Also, you got SoCal at the end of the month, which means there's a couple more weeks will have passed, and you got the West Coast dick stomping cruise out here, and that'll be like 300 people. Like, and data from that event, data from this. What's the state of Marines? Is the Iron Hands threat as real as it seems? Like, do we need to mass ban Leviathans?
Leviathans OP, nerf now.
So it's going to be a really exciting October, Spooktober for Space Marines.
Spooky October.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. That's all the new release stuff and plugs I have for you guys.
Oh, let me say,
we need a Legion of the Damned t-shirt for Spooktober.
Oh, that's a good idea. I
think you could go crack out on a Legion of the Damned.
Oh, I certainly can. Got some skull facing going on there. Yeah, that's right up my alley.
Can you theme him like Nicolas Cage and Ghost Rider?
Yeah, fucking hell yeah, I can. As a matter of fact, scrap that. I'm drawing a parody of Ghost Rider, and I'm just gonna put like Legion of the Damned underneath it.
We'll have the leather jacket on.
No, it'll just be a head. I only draw heads.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's sick. That's a great idea, Wyatt. Thank you. Real quick though, shit, what was I saying? Someone.
My pocket was vibrating.
That was. I was gonna make a comment on Rob's. Your pocket is about to vibrate in 3 seconds. That has not happened. Sorry. I thought I had yes, Mantic. October. Mantic, Kings of War, the new edition, drops this month.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been struggling to link up with Kyle over there on their North American team for an interview. He was in Canada, doing press stuff, this and that. So we're going to finally link up, I think, this next week for an exclusive interview about what to expect from Kings of War and their new models and their new edition. A lot of people still play Kings of War because it feels like the OG Warhammer Fantasy days.
Mm-hmm.
So look forward to that interview. It's good. I think it's going to be a good one. Get some real inside information about the game mechanics and stuff like that.
That'll be cool to hear. They got a lot of different minis.
Their minis have gotten so much better. Like they have really evolved as a company.
Even the Dead Zone stuff's gotten a lot better.
I mean, they used to just suck. Like their stuff was just cheap, counts as models, and now their stuff is solid.
Still pretty cheap.
And cheap still.
Yeah. It's not like cheap as in bad quality. It's cheap as in price now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I love it. Like, I mean, that Shadow Hulk was ridiculous. And I just painted. I loved it, man. So much quality. But yep, that's all I had as a contribution to the nerd shit segment of this podcast.
Fair enough. Thank you. Thank you for that. New Eldar rules? Question mark.
Someone pull up a screen and read these motherfuckers to me.
Let's see.
Because you both know
I got it. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So, as part of this new Psychic Awakening, the Eldar, Light and Dark, are getting some new rules. And they're introducing a new mechanic where you can kind of create your own craft world attributes like you can a Space Marine successor chapter. There's going to be 22 of them. So we haven't seen all of them, but they did preview some. Like the Children of Cain says, when resolving an attack made with a melee weapon by an aspect warrior model with this attribute on an unmodified wound roll of a 6, add 1 to the damage characteristic of that weapon for that attack.
Basic, but cool.
Yep. They showed off a stratagem for 1 CP, exemplar of the Banshee Shrine. Use this stratagem before the battle when you select a Howling Banshee Exarch power from the list opposite. You can take that ability in addition to the War Shout ability instead of replacing it. You can only use this stratagem once per battle.
So I'm assuming war shouts and XR powers are decent.
Yes, I think war shout is the thing that denies Overwatch.
No, I think she just automatically denies Overwatch.
Oh, for the Banshee mask.
Yeah, the Banshee mask. So they probably get it too.
All right, keep going, Wyatt.
Yeah, and so
Rob,
these
you
are
look up war shout.
Yeah, so these are some Exarch powers. So you could take these like in addition to war shout. Disarming strike. At the start of the fight phase, you can select one enemy model within 1 inch of this unit's Howling Banshee Exarch. Subtract 2 from the attack's characteristic of that enemy to a minimum of 1 until the end of that phase.
War
Which
shot,
is-
your opponent subtracts 1 to hit.
Oh, okay.
Word, that is really good. So you can do both.
Yeah, and this is slightly different than how Disarming Strike used to work, where you would select a model and then roll a 3 up and just like knock the weapon out of their hands for that phase.
100% different rule.
Yeah, and so it's
I mean, it's still very useful.
different.
As a game mechanic, -2 to hit's better because you should a rule that disallows.
That's not -2 to hit. It's you subtract 2 of their attacks.
That's what I mean. Sorry, my bad. Taking away 2 of their attacks is the superior game mechanic here because you should never have rules in a game system where we have to purchase war gear. You shouldn't have rules that take away my war gear, like take away my thing that interacts. It's just a bad feeling. There's ways to do it that don't make me just not have my 40-point thing I bought. Like the only way you should take away something from me is by killing the unit, you know? So I do totally agree with this change in the rules just from a game theory. And it's still very useful. -2 attacks and stacking with the war shout -1 to hit. That's really good. Especially for a guy with a Thunderhammer that hits on 3s now, you know, because he hits on 2s, hits on 3s, hits on 4s, and has 2 less attacks. That immediately takes away the shock attack from the Space Marine and one of his additional attacks. That is a solid combination versus that fight. I like it.
And these next 3 look like some of the attributes for your Craft World stuff. They have Hail of Doom. When resolving an attack made with a shuriken weapon by a model with this attribute against an enemy unit within 12 inches, improve the AP by 1. This does not affect the abilities of that shuriken weapon, i.e. a wound roll of 6+ is still resolved at AP -3.
That's super.
So this
super
is
handy.
all units with shuriken?
Yeah.
Well, that would have this this ability.
Yeah.
I
All
believe they're
units.
calling
It's
it, or
not,
attribute. Excuse me.
not limited to
Mm.
anything. No, that's a
No.
really good one.
Well, it's kind of like, you know, the Marine one where it's like add 3 inches to your gun. Like that's pretty good
Bolter.
too.
This is really strong. Really strong.
They have Wrath of the Dead. When resolving an attack made by a Wraith construct with this attribute, reroll a wound roll of 1.
I mean,
A single or all or what we're talking about here?
It says it just gives them reroll wounds of 1 for Wraith construct keywords.
well, aren't you supposed to like roll 1 by 1 or whatever when you're like, we just do it batch rolling, but rules is written.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the
1 by
same as
1.
like a lieutenant's R.
Right.
That's where it gets confusing. No.
Yeah.
It's dope.
People forget that.
I do sometimes, yes. I'm terrible at remembering things. That is a really good one too. Modifying wound rolls is
Yeah, for the people that like Wraith Blades and
Yeah. Race baits.
yeah.
Because they can just pop up now too, you know? It's like,
there's
hello.
play. There's play.
See,
Like, oh,
they're also introducing a new psychic discipline, Runes of Fortune, and they show off one of the abilities called Ghost Walk. Ghost Walk has a warp charge of 6. If manifested, select one friendly Craft World unit within 6 inches of this psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, when a charge roll is made for that unit, add 2 to the result.
Solid. Yo, that stacks immediately with who can I cast it on? A Craft World element? So a Wraith
Craft
construct?
World.
Craft World,
These
yeah.
are all Craft World.
Yes.
So that close combat Wraith unit, Suddenly,
You can ignore the -2 to charge for executioners and repulsors.
Also, technically, we got other characters that we're about to talk about. Who have a built-in +3 that now have +5 if they want.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Interesting.
But just to touch on that real quick, it does say in the wording of that rule, the unit has to be within a certain distance.
It doesn't let you, the Ghost Walk doesn't let you bypass 12-inch charges.
Actually, I think hers says 15.
Yeah, I know the one we have yet to discuss.
Yeah.
I think it's max 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So then they go on to talk about cabals for the Dark Eldar. So it's kind of the same thing. You can make your own like cabal or witch cult or homunculus coven using these types of like make your own thingies. Talks about some of the cabal stuff. Toxin crafters when resolving an attack made with a poison weapon by a model with this obsession. On an unmodified wound roll of 6, add 1 to the damage characteristic of that weapon for that attack. This does not apply to artifacts of cruelty for relics. For the purposes of this obsession, a poison weapon is any weapon that has the poisoned weapon ability.
That's okay.
Yeah. And then they have mobile raiders. Add 3 inches to the move characteristic of models with this obsession that can fly.
Yeah. Also,
so that's going to apply to
a free movement. A free movement characteristic like that is 100% useful and good.
Yeah. Ravagers, Venoms, Flyers, Hellions.
In my night list, where I have my one Dreadblade and I use Demonic Vigor in a lot of games just because like I'm always waiting to use Path of Glory. But you almost always roll the extra 2-inch move because it's 1, 2, or 3 that locks you in. So it's the most common. Every time I roll it, and because you're always wanting to secretly roll the +1 ballistic skill one on a 6, but almost every time I roll that +2 inches and have a 14-inch moving knight, it's always like, God, this was the right one. Like, because it is just so good. That mobility is 100% useful at all times. So that's low key. Real good. Has no damage, no offense, no extra defense. It is mobility, and moving is one of the strongest elements of the game.
Mm-hmm. All right, then we go on to witch cults, and they have a couple. Test of skill when resolving an attack made by a model with this obsession against a monster or vehicle with 10 or more wounds. Add 1 to the wound roll.
I dick ride this one hard. This one is good. We talked about it a little bit. We try to figure out what witch cult units that were vehicles could take it. That's Venoms and the Flyer. What's the Flyer called? Void Raven? Oh, fuck.
Void Raven, I think so.
Is that what it's called? So those chassis can take it. And other things, I mean, lots of things can take it. And there's an infinite level of combos that benefit from it that you can go into. But +1 to wound mechanics are one of the strongest mechanics in Warhammer 40k 8th edition. This has a restrictor, obviously. It's for like tanks and monsters. But we use the Flyer with the disintegrator cannons as our primary example of how good it is. Disintegrator cannons are really good, right? Strength 5, AP 3, 2 damage. They struggle against tanks because they need to roll 5s, right? But they're good enough with their volume of fire. But now, innately, they clean up troops and wound tanks on 4s now. That is such an incredible flex for just that. That is just our basic bitch example.
It's almost like, it's the same thing they just took away from the Caladius tank. Like, it was good against armor, it was good against troops, and now we see this, and it's kind of like dual purpose all of a sudden.
And the thing is, it was dual purpose, but now it's even stronger. Now it's like hard to even argue against disintegrator cannons on that chassis. It's so good.
Hope you magnetized your guns.
Yeah. And a lot of people have been bringing in the Dark Eldar Flyer with disintegrator cannons in their lists a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it on Venoms. We talked about it before. Venoms have poison weapons, so when they shoot vehicles, it's a 6 to wound. Well, this is +1 to your wound roll. So suddenly, like if you play Venom spam, which is very popular with those flyers, you've actually just doubled the damage output of your Venoms versus vehicles.
Dude, Venoms are very easy to fit in the list.
Venoms are awesome. Great body blocking units.
Yep.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite ones so far, Wyatt.
All right, so this next one is very British English. So I'm going to try my best to say it concisely so it doesn't sound confusing. Acrobatic display. If you select this witch cult obsession, you cannot select a second. Whilst a model with this obsession that has an invulnerable save is within 1 inch of any enemy units, improve its invulnerable save by 1 to a maximum of 3. Whilst a model with this obsession that does not have an invulnerable save is within 1 inch of enemy units, it has a 6-up invulnerable save.
God, just give me some bullet points already, GW. That was preposterous. Got it.
They could have saved a lot of words by being like, if you're in combat, get +1 to your invul save.
Right.
All right. And then we move on to the homunculus coven obsessions. Got a couple. Dark Harvest. After a unit with this obsession finishes a charge move, for each model in that unit, you can select one enemy unit within 1 inch of that model and roll 1d6. On a 5-up, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound.
Decent.
Yep.
Free damage. Always good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Experimental creations. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of all models with this obsession. When resolving an attack made with a poisoned weapon by a model with this obsession against a unit that has a lower toughness characteristic than the attacking model, add 1 to the wound roll. For the purposes of this obsession, a poisoned weapon is any weapon with the poisoned weapon ability.
There's a lot of play in that one.
Yes.
A lot of play.
Oh, yeah.
For all my prophets of fleshes out there.
Yeah, having the +1 to strength is pretty spicy because then you can stack that with putting homunculus next to your Rax or your grotesques or your Talos to get +2 strength.
And that poison additional +1 to wound is really strong.
Yeah, which takes them to strength.
Doesn't everybody take the ossifier guns with the racks? Or do they take
It depends on how you want to play Rax. Like
usually
most of the time,
battalion,
for like the plug and play Prophets of Flesh list that was real popular. You just use them as objective holders because
and unlocking the battalion, it's just literally 50 racks, battalion. You know, literally. No, there's a lot of play here. A lot of things to digest with that one.
Yeah. Cool. And then they also unveiled some of the rules for Janezar and Drazar.
Oh, yeah.
Which is cool.
We have Janezar's stat line, which has remained unchanged, but it's move 8, weapon skill, ballistic skill of 2, strength 4, toughness 4, 6 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9 with a 2-up armor save. And then they show off the acrobatic rule. It says this model can be chosen to charge with, even if it advanced. If this model advanced this turn, you can choose it to charge with if it is within 15 inches of an enemy unit instead of 12, and you can add 3 to the charge roll.
And these are actually all rules that they already had. None of these are new.
Yeah, but the reason that I brought it up is because you can take the
Ghost Walk.
Whatchamacallit to Ghost Walk to give her +5.
+5 charge. Still can't launch outside of 15, but still +5 to your charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On an 8-inch moving model. That is really cool. And she used to have the disarm, right? Is Janzar the girl or the guy?
Girl.
The girl.
So she used to have your favorite version of disarm on a 3-up, kick the Thunderhammer out of your hand. She lost that in exchange for a new ability, right?
Yeah, she can make a number of attacks equal to the number of models within 2 inches of her, right, Rob?
Is it 2 or 1? God, I hope
I
it's 2.
believe it's 1.
It's probably
1 inch. Okay.
So it just changes her role, like you said. Like it used to be that she just just murdered a smash captain, right? But now she can go into like a mob of 25 millimeter bases and do work, especially with that charge, like that distance she can get. But also she has the war shout, like they all
it's
do.
2. Excuse me, it's 2. It's with
2 inches. Oh my god, that is really good. So she can, you can launch her into a fight, clear a house.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong on my math here, Kenny, but does that mean that she can attack 3 rows of 25 millimeter bases?
Yes, because
and
25
2
millimeters
rows
is
of 32 millimeter bases.
Yes, correct. 25 millimeters is less than an inch. So if they're not the butt, that's 3 rows.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then 2 rows of 32 to 32 millimeter bases.
Yep.
Definitely.
So that's real good. That you could send her into somebody who just had like a nice blobbed up group of 25 millimeter bases, and she'll take them out. And also she has the war shout, which is -2 to be hit or -1 to be hit.
Yeah.
And she can still for 1 CP take the other XR power, right?
Right.
She can take disarm, which now is just simply pointing at someone and say you're -2 attacks. So she still can flex from mowing down a unit of people to jumping on a smash captain in a pinch and dropping that dude's attacks down by 2, making him hit on 4s and still putting up a fight. So she is really interesting. I like her now.
So what's the math on her taking out something like Plague Bearers with her D3?
How much damage does she do? D3?
D3.
Well, if she rolls an average of 2, then you have to assume every failed save is a dead Plague Bearer is the easiest way to theorize the math.
Right.
They're on 30 millimeter bases now, though. So, it's not.
I thought they were still on 25s.
No, they're on 32.
I mean, it's not an ideal fight. Even if she had 20,
Okay.
even if she had 20 attacks, it's not good.
Cool. I thought they were still on 25s, so that's why I brought it up.
Because she still has to hit, she still has to wound. They mitigate 1/3. They're also going to be -1 to hit because of reasons. And the demon player, if he's concerned about it, like can always warp surge for warp invulnerable. Like it's not where she wants to be. She wants to be in no invulnerable save, having 25 millimeter chaff units. Because a model that can just take 10 models out, there's not as many of those in the game as you think there are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, I mean, anything that's toughness 3, she'd really excel at as well. Because then she's wounded on 2s.
Yep.
She also always fights first, and any Howling Banshees within 6 always fight first.
Yep.
But she doesn't have the good version. She has the alternating version.
She's got pseudo survivability and speed, and she can lock things down on flanks that you don't want her to. Like, she is a very useful unit.
But I don't think she has a invul.
No, she does not.
I don't think any of the Phoenix Lords have invuls anymore from what I'm seeing.
No. A lot of them have 2-up saves, though.
Yeah.
Which represents their lightning fast reflexes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And then they also showed off Drazar.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't remember his stat line because he hasn't been relevant in so long, so I'll just read it out. He's got 7-inch movement, 2-up weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength 4, tough 4, 6 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9 with a 2-up armor save. He's got the Executioner's Demiclaves, and it says when the bearer fights, select one of the profiles below. You have single blade and dual blades. The single blade is +1 strength, -3 AP, and 2 damage. And the dual blades are strength user, -2 AP, and 2 damage. When the bearer fights with dual blades, it can make 2 additional attacks with this weapon. And he has Murderous Assault. If this model made a charge move this turn, you can choose to fight with this model an additional time this turn. And he also has an aura ability called Master of Blades. It says add 1 to wound rolls for friendly incubi units whilst they are within 6 inches of this model.
Does he have incubi keyword still? He does, because he's the incubi leader, right?
Yes.
He is incubi
So
keyword,
+1 to wound to himself. That's pretty solid. I've seen him played before, and if he can sneak in there, he does put a hurting on some units.
The old version, he has a 5-up invul.
He has a 2-up stock here, but a lot of wounds. So no, that's really good too.
Yeah.
If you can get him into something, he'll do more damage than a Demon Prince can do.
Yeah, giving him the 2 damage now on both his weapon profiles was pretty good, and they gave him an extra wound as well.
And how does it work? How is this fight twice worded? Fight an
If this model made a charge move this turn, you can choose to fight with this model an additional time this turn.
So he can just go back to back. Doesn't need to wait till the
So
end of the turn.
getting 8 attacks with strength of user -2, 2 damage.
And plus 1 wound.
It'll be 12 if you use the dual blades.
Yeah, use the dual blade strength, use your plus 1 wound. That's what you're going hot.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I think would do the best.
That's solid. It's like a Demon Prince. That's dope.
What could he go up against with a single blade?
The single blade is 2
That's
damage,
strength.
AP 3, strength 5.
Yeah, it'll be strength 5 with plus 1 to wound.
Yeah, you can kill some shit with that, for sure.
Yeah. Anything toughness 4 and below, he's wounding on 2s.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
These guys wreck
He's
even
cool.
even 2 wound stuff like Primaris.
No, he's good. He's great. He's a great unit.
Yeah.
I mean, not a great offensive unit. Both Janzar and Drazar are dope. But what you're looking for most of the time is you're looking for buff characters. You're looking for buff HQs, you know? And
the rerolls and stuff.
so, like, they both have cool things. They're very thematic, and they are strong, and they are definitely useful. But, you know, that's what's up.
We still need to know more. There's actually 19. I looked it up. There's 19 different chapter tactics that you can take for successor chapters and combinations. And currently, for the obsessions of the just for the Dark Eldar alone, they're only they're plug and play, like locked to like, oh, if you take Cabal of the Dark Heart, then you got to take this one. So there's just one for each of the. I think there's 4, 3, 3. So there's only 10 of them, but each one corresponds to a certain, like Prophets of Pain or Prophets of Flesh or something like that. So these being able to mix and match them might be pretty cool.
Let me jump into the chat real quick. Someone asks, the Whispering Monk. So if he charges, you can declare both fights before non-charges. That is my interpretation, because chargers go first, then non-chargers go next, starting with the players whose turn it is, which is Drazar's turn. And since this doesn't have the caveat wording of at the end of the phase, like many fight twice stratagems do, he gets to throw both sets of punches.
Yeah, it's basically the same as Khorne Berserkers.
Yeah, that's how I interpret it.
That's what I would think. Yeah.
So that's what's
So if I remember my Dark Eldar stuff, I think the only fight twice they have is a witch cult thing, and they have to have like slain a unit to be able to play it. Because otherwise, I don't think the Cabal has a fight twice. But I didn't really play much Cabal with my Dark Eldar, so I can't remember off the top of my head.
fact. Those are all cool. That's a very exciting set of articles, or rules in an article.
Attributes.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, and there's more to come. I mean, we're going to see a lot of spice for Eldar, and it's going to really set the stage.
Sucked. Nothing was useless.
Mm-mm.
Like, it was really cool.
Maybe they didn't show us the useless stuff. Nah, it'd probably be fine.
Yeah. So, want to talk Space Marines?
Oh yeah,
Are we there now?
Space Marines.
And he wants to eat plastic. Apparently, I don't know if you can hear that. Plastics her jam.
So which one of these do we want to do first? The successors or Iron Hands White Scars?
Let's do successors, because I think those are a little bit spicier that maybe folks didn't necessarily expect.
Cool. So these are from the Northwest Open GT. And in third place, we have an Ultramarines successor being played by Niels Shear. And his guys are Ultramarine successors, the Dragon Guard, and they have Master Artisans and Stealthy. And I've seen a few successor builds there where this is popular.
Oh yeah.
Break it down.
He's got a brigade, which is
break
one of the
down
things you can do.
Break down the successor traits and why they're popular, real quick.
I got it right here if you want me to say it.
Do it.
Yeah,
Okay, so Master Artisans is when a unit with this tactic fires Overwatch is chosen to shoot or fight with, or is choosing to shoot or fight with. You can reroll a single hit wound, and you can reroll a single wound roll.
So that's the Salamander lesser.
Yeah,
greater.
Salamander half.
What we expect the Salamanders to be. And what was the other one? Stealthy?
Yeah.
When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon against a unit with this tactic by a model that is more than 12 inches away, this unit is treated as having, the benefit of cover.
So they blending. Actually, one of my favorite chapter tactics is the Salamander one because it has an incredible damage threshold. If you and I haven't seen this list yet, but if you gear for it and you spread your units out in such a way that you put the right types of weapons in the squads, it's an incredible return on investment. So let's go to the list.
Cool. So yeah, he's got a brigade, which is one of the spicy new things you can do with the new Space Marines. Whereas it was pretty hard to do before and be good. But he's got a chapter master.
Oh my God.
Say again?
He has a brigade that makes me so happy because my Salamanders list has a brigade too. Are we kindred spirits? Me and this guy, Niels?
Man, did you just become best friends?
Do we just become
What's your favorite dinosaur?
Yeah, first off, Triceratops.
Oh, okay. All right. You got a chapter master in Phobos armor, warlord trait, marksman's honors, stacking warlord trait with exemplar of the chapter, adept of the codex. Then he's got a librarian.
Is exemplar the one that extends the range?
Your mic is cutting out, dude.
Is exemplar the one that extends the range?
For what is that?
What's the exemplar?
Warlord trait, exemplar of the chapter. Warlord trait. No, let me look.
It's one of the. I think the.
We'll just keep going on the list. Rob will figure it out.
Yeah. He's got a librarian with Might of Heroes and Null Zone. And a LT with Mastercrafted Auto Bolt Rifle and the Seal of Oath, which is one of the special issue war gear that's locked to Ultramarines and successors. We all know what that does. He's got...
Maybe they don't. Tell the people who are listening who might not know why that's the best.
Oh, okay. So Seal of Oath is a relic where units within 6 inches of the bearer, you can just nominate a unit at the start of the game.
Enemy unit.
And be like, my whole army rerolls hits and wound rolls against that unit.
So it's old school Robbie G rerolls, but like a mark for death capacity. You can say you're that night with double thermal cannons. Every dude within 6 inches of me gets the full rerolls. Every Ultramarine player uses it. It's one of the best. So if you guys are playing Ultramarines at home and you don't know about that one, real good.
Yeah, it's real solid. And because it's a special issue war gear, you can use it with successors. Because successors cannot use the Ultramarine specific relics. All right. Then he's got 2 5-man intercessor squads, a 5-man scout squad with snipers, 2 5-man scout squads with bolt guns, and a 5-man scout squad with close combat weapon. He's got an aggressor squad with 3 aggressors, auto bullstorm gauntlets, 2 Invictor tactical war suits with the auto cannons.
Ooh, so they're staying stationary probably.
Yep. And he's got a Inceptor squad with assault bolters. There's 3 guys in that one. And then he's got a suppressor squad and a second suppressor squad. And then he's got 5 heavy support choices, 2 eliminator squads with bolt snipers, a executioner with heavy laser destroyer, a stalker, and a thunderfire cannon.
Mm-hmm. Stalkers are tough to save.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on that list. It's very eclectic.
Well, I got the warlord traits here. He actually has 3. So he's got the Ultramarine one, which is Adept of the Codex. You can reroll 1d6 for each command point you spend. On a 5-up, it's refunded.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you can only get more than one of those. I mean, just one of those per
battle round.
And then we go to the main ones. And he has Marksman Armors, which is add 1 damage to ranged weapon this warlord is equipped with.
Yeah, that's the old 4 damage combo, right? Because there's a strategy. Grenades. That Phobos guy can deliver like a single sniper round that does like 4 damage. I believe.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. And then the other one is the Adept of the Codex is the Ultramarines trait in the Space Marine book. And that is you can roll 1d6 for each command point, and on a 5-up, it's refunded. So I guess you have 2 chances.
So he's stacking it to keep his CPs high. So he's using he's a CP. He brings a lot of CPs for a brigade that he can get, but he's obviously stratagem heavy because they have so many great stratagems now.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, you have to play a stratagem just to get that combo of warlord traits.
gotta spin stratagems to spin stratagems.
Yep.
No, to save stratagems. You got to spend stratagems to save command points.
So he plays third with this list, and I can see it. Was that an ITC event?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it was. And so this list does really well in ITC. It scores recon, scores engineers effortlessly, and then sprinkle on your third one to flavor. It holds objectives really well. So he's going to hold more, and probably get 8 points of secondaries without flexing 1 muscle. So
what do you think about the him putting suppressors in there, but not being Iron Hands?
Well, as a Ultramarine successor, you can take the tactical doctrine trait where you count as not having moved in the tactical doctrine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of his stuff is going to key off in the tactical doctrine.
Yeah. Ultramarine players who are getting good at Ultramarines are learning that there's a time and place to be in almost every one of those doctrines. Like there's gonna be he's like we're doing the Devastator doctrine, and now everyone. So like I've played it against a few Ultramarine players, and they are getting good at changing the doctrine and leaving the past in the past, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he has an Ultramarine. He has aggressors, like you said. He has a executioner. He has the jump pack autocannon guys, suppressors, whatever they're called. All of those, Rob, get so strong in the tactical doctrine. And actually,
nice.
and all of them are also strong in the Devastator. They're good no matter how you slice it.
Well, yeah, because the accelerator autocannon is heavy, so yeah, it would be good.
And the executioner, it's really happy in the Devastator doctrine, but also real happy when it can move full distance and still double shoot it to the main gun.
Right. Because as I was thinking about adding some myself, because in matchups where I'm not worried about getting shot on turn 1, because you can set that their autocannons are 48. Mm-hmm. So you can set them outside of your opponent's range and can't be targeted turn 1. And if I am worried about them being targeted turn 1, I can hold them in deep strike and bring them in on turn 2 when I'm in the tactical doctrine, so they don't take a penalty from moving for deep striking.
That seems pretty solid. And then they'll be able to pin down stuff too if you want to assault in, because I think they do that thing, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if this guy actually wants to do a whole lot of assaulting.
Probably not.
Yeah,
probably
if anything, I would see probably the aggressors, maybe the tactical war suits doing some kind of assaulting. And he only has 3. I'm assuming that's because he wants to be able to put them in the executioner for safety.
I mean, yeah, but you should. I mean, aggressors are one of the best units in the game right now, especially Ultramarines. Mm-hmm. It's a great list with a lot of abilities for different situations.
Yep. I like it.
Cool. All right. Second place, another Ultramarine successor, played by Sebastian Mueller. Or Miller, depending on how they pronounce the M-U-E. So let's see. He's rocking the 1 detachment of a battalion, looks like. And he's doing Master Artisans and long-range marksmen. And I think the long range marksman is what adds like 3 inches or something to their gun range, right?
Yeah, that's the 3-inch range.
All right. So he's got a captain with Power Fist Storm Bolter, who's the warlord. His traits are not listed, so I don't know if he made him a chapter master or not. He's got a regular lieutenant with bolt pistol chainsword. 2 10-man infiltrator units with no healer. So they're 220 apiece. Then he's got a 10-man intercessor squad with regular bolt rifles and an auxiliary grenade launcher.
Respect the 10-man intercessor squad.
Yeah. He's got a 6-man aggressor squad with auto bolt storm gauntlets. Invictor tactical warsuit with the flamer cannon. He's got 2 of those guys, or 3 of those guys, all with the cannon. So this is definitely a triple threat that I really like for Ultramarines. Then he's got 3 suppressor squads. What
are they armed with?
5-man Devastator squad with grav cannon and grav amp, and an armored cherub.
Dub, what were the suppressors armed with?
Suppressors always have the accelerator autocannon. You can't make them any more than 3,
I get
and they only have the one
by
weapon.
The names. Eliminator, suppressor, my bad. So that
And then he's got 2 units of eliminators with bolt sniper rifles.
That's a really good list. That has some really powerful units. So how did this guy do?
He got 2nd place.
That list has a lot of obvious strength in it.
Yeah. I really like the triple warsuit with flamers because you can scout deploy them, and you can deploy them in your opponent's face and force them to deploy around that threat of the 3 warsuits with flamers, especially when they have 3 inches added to their range. And then if you don't go first, you can just be like, nope, and pull them back into your deployment zone for 1 CP and be super safe.
That list
and then their deployment's all messed up.
And if you think about some of the stuff we talked about, like Seal of Oath and everything, this list has the bullets to get it done and has a lot of power. This list seems outwardly more killy than the last list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a take the middle ground. It's definitely a get it done.
I like it.
Move and get it done. I like the Devastator, the grabs.
Yeah, they have that awesome. They have that sweet ass stratagem now.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got him in a drop pod for that stratagem.
Dust off here. Devies, boys.
Yep, bring it in turn 2.
Yeah, so don't forget 20 infiltrators, you said, right?
Yeah, 20 infiltrators.
So he also has the recon / objective grabbing game unlocked with those 20 models and the warsuits. So
plus the 3 suits, yeah.
So you're looking at the same thing. You're looking at engineer, recon, and kill. You see there's a theme here, guys, that's developing as far as building around 2 of the best secondaries.
Mm-hmm. You probably don't have to read the Chaos one because we've talked about that.
It's the Monster Mash. It's the Don Husen Monster Mash.
The list, the Purge, popularized by none other than legendary Chaos player Don Husen.
That's the one.
But his is his is kind of like Don Husen's first version where he still had the Sorcerer.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
He only has 2 Contemptors, but still has triple Drake, triple Dorito, but and a pocket triple disco and a pocket Sorcerer. And the Purge, if you guys don't know, the Purge list has this ability where if a Purge unit shoots at another unit that was wounded by a Purge unit, they get full rerolls. And so they can really spread out, take the backfield, and get really in your grill. A pocket Sorcerer with who can cast twice with a Smite and Infernal Gaze can literally pop off a wound in 2 different units, even tough units. If there's a Knight in the backfield, he can just Infernal Gaze. I rolled a 4, he took a wound, and then just take it down with 4 rerolls. And even the Helldrakes help with that. Helldrakes can scoot up, put Bell Flamers on things, and then everything, just the devastating level of firepower this list has. And even though it's very low model count, it fucks up hordes. It has the bullets to jack up a horde army. It is real powerful. And how did this guy, the same tournament? Or different tournament?
He won the tournament.
He won the tournament.
So this is first, second,
first.
third.
Basically, yeah.
So Chaos first, and then Sebastian is second, and Niels as third.
Who was the name of the player who won with this cast list again?
His name is Dino Ko.
Yo, shout out to Dino. Hold it down, homie. Chaos. This might be one of the last. This might be one of the last times a straight up Chaos Space Marine list is going to be on top for a minute.
We'll see. I mean, it did solid. I mean,
It does not do solid against Iron Hand, sir.
well, you see, yes, correct. Stop.
Congratulations on your victory. Rest in peace.
I'm just got to make some adjustments. It's the name of the game.
Yeah. Don Newson's making adjustments. Like switching over to Space Marines.
Playing a new.
That's what he's. I read a post from talking about that.
Yeah.
It's like,
yikes.
If you can't beat them, join them.
That is a saying. Yes.
Fact.
Yes.
All right. So do we want to talk about these other ones or just move on?
I think that's it. Like we did 3.
Yeah.
I think that really shows you guys what's really going on out there with Space Marines and how flexible they really are. Ultramarines I still think are the best ones. I still in my heart think that they're the best. They have the most options. It's not as obvious. I think that Iron Hands are going to be smashy as fuck. Like Wyatt said it best. They're the hammer.
Plug and play.
Yep.
I mean, like those other 2 lists we didn't talk about both have trip executioners in them, and then the other one has trip executioners and trip Stormhawk interceptors.
Yeah, I mean,
so
it's not unexpected.
No, like a hammer. The thing about a hammer list is that hammers can also do things that swords can do pretty well. Like they can really. So that's the thing. Iron Hands can be real popular. It's a hammer. Hammers are easy to use too. That's also why they're popular. So the hammer list is going to be very popular, but I think when the smoke settles after we see Salamanders, Imperial Fist, and Raven Guards, like low key rise the popularity, I think you're going to find Iron Hands are not the strongest ones.
Yeah.
But that should be scary in itself to say out loud.
Yeah.
They're not going to be the strongest ones.
The triple executioner Rabute Gilliman list is still very strong, but it doesn't survive in a lot of matchups. With the caveat that, like, if you have really good terrain in an event, maybe. But I've suspected since this new Dex came out that the Ultramarines playstyle is going to be better served in kind of like what we saw with those 2 successor lists, where they have a lot more infantry than they do big killy robots or giant tanks, to really utilize all of the tools in their ultra tactical toolbox.
Yep, that's absolutely. And I think that when it comes to triple executioner, Iron Hands do it best, and that's not what your Ultramarine list should be.
Yeah,
it should be eclectic. You should have units that have a purpose, and you should be able to use them all in multiple roles. Like that's so. I think that Ultramarine is currently the best, but we'll see when Salamanders and Imperial Fists are the stories are totally out. I think Imperial Fists are probably going to be the strongest codex for Space Marines.
That's the word on the street. They've been saying it for a little while. That's like the rumor.
And I think second place is going to be a toss up between Iron Hands and Salamanders and Ultramarines. Like those 3 are going to be right behind them with wins. So
which is 100% more than people were playing Marines this time last year.
I think that I think of those 3 that Salamanders and Ultramarines are going to actually be outwinning Iron Hands. Is my suspicion based on just what we know about some of the stuff now. I think that Salamanders are going to show up and do some stuff that people aren't ready for. Like it's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But get ready. Get your the funnest part of 40K is scheming, guys. So I have been scheming.
As a wise man once said, hang on to your butts.
Yeah. Yep. True story. But I think we did it. I think we have put down at least an hour of content. I wasn't watching the time. Were you,
Neither
Rob?
was I. No. But well, no takesy backsies.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll get out of here. So that's it for this one, y'all. Make sure to head over to thelongwar.net for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.